Hello and welcome to Dover for the FedEx 400 Race 5 of 20 in the Verizon NASCAR Cup Series. The quarter-way mark in the season, getting ready for an interesting one here under the clouds. In Dover, Delaware, on pole, Kyle Larson. Starting second will be Parker Klingerman. And I'm only going to go through the top 10 this race for starting order. Third will be DiBenedetto, and fourth will be Bowman, fifth Buescher, sixth Bowyer, 7th Harvick, 8th is Kurt Busch, 9th is Jeffrey Earnhardt, and 10th will be Denny Hamlin. Looking at what should be a wild one for today's race. Dover is either really boring or really wild, so we'll hope that today's race will be a wild one. 40 laps. And 26 cars. Pace car peels onto pit road. Getting ready to go here. Into the restart zone. And we are green for the FedEx 400 at Dover, Delaware. Car sideways already is Matt Tifft off the bumper of... That is Bubba Wallace, who almost turned him. He loses a lot of spots. I didn't want to be commentating this early, but people are already getting into each other. 3 and 4 wide coming off of turn number 4. To lead lap number 1 at the Monster Mile will be Kyle Larson. Quite crazy racing in the back of the field. It looks like they are going to finally filter out and start to smooth out. This track has got a lot of drafting. You're going to want to be in a bit of a train for most of it unless the leaders are side by side. Then you can try and fight for positions. This track is famous in the series as they go 4 wide again. Looked like Ty Dillon got moved up the track there. Anyways, this track is one of the famous tracks in the league for being pretty much the only track that you can actually fight on the outside. Turn 1, the outside lane is the optimal line when you're side by side, although people prefer to run the inside when they're single file. A lot of crazy racing in the midfield. You can see Klingerman stuck up high, who started second. He is dropping back quickly. Lap 4 of 40 right now. Klingerman falling out on the outside. DiBenedetto still hasn't tried to make a move on Larson, doesn't quite have the pace right now. Still a lot of scary racing in the back of the field. Matt Tifft trying to move Keselowski out of the way for that position. Tifft is going to be on a bit of a mission to try and catch Bubba Wallace after Wallace tried dumping him in turn 1 on the first lap. This track brings out some of the dirtiest in driving in the series, and you could already see that taking place. And in the wall goes the 24 of Byron. Just going to rewind real quick and have an instant replay of that. Looks like he was trying to push Almirola and was getting turned by Tin or Berryhill at the same time. Both of them go up in the wall. They don't go all the way around, though, and they will stay green. Meanwhile, for the lead, DiBenedetto tried to go to the inside, but Larson proving that the outside still has pace at this racetrack. Fighting back around the top lane. Still no cautions in this race, surprisingly, even though this is one of the scariest tracks to drive on, with how many people really like to move each other out of the way at this racetrack. And yet, through the races here, through previous seasons, we haven't really had I don't even think there was a single caution in the previous race at this track. So, in recent seasons, this track hasn't been as chaotic as it used to be. Larson, meanwhile, has led every lap of the race so far from the pole position. The field is a little spread out now, but the top 3 are right bumper to bumper to bumper. And a couple more, Chris Buescher and Jeffrey Earnhardt are catching the field, or the leaders. Clint Bowyer, the only one in the top 5 to have won a race. He won Michigan, race 3. Bowyer looked to the inside of De Benedetto going towards turn 3. He will not actually make the move, but he did have a look. Off turn number 4. Bowyer looks to the inside of De Benedetto. This is going to hold them up. Larson will have a chance to pull away. De Benedetto trying to fight around the outside, but can he clear the 14? Ooh, yes, he will be able to. Jeffrey Earnhardt trying to make a move on Buescher for 4th. Whoa, Blaney got moved up the racetrack off the bumper of, I believe that was Suarez, who just booted him up the racing surface. He's going to lose a couple positions and fall outside the top 20. Buescher continuing to lose spots is now Alex Bowman, season 4 champion, who has had some recent struggles in the past couple of seasons, trying to fight his way back up through the field. Moves up into the 5th position, into the top 5. De Benedetto back on the rear bumper of Larson. They still haven't tried to make a move yet, but they might soon. Byron is way off the pace with his damaged race car. Tough luck for the 24, who got dumped by the 97 of Tanner Berryhill. It almost looked like they were slowing down for a caution there, but they didn't. You can see a lot of scary racing in the midfield. A lot of people getting into each other. Contact is aplenty here. Berryhill, one of the other damaged cars. Ooh, Elliott moves. Oh, multiple cars getting into each other. You can see Elliott moving Suarez up the track, and Kurt Busch gets moved by Blaney. Here comes Wallace to move Keselowski out of the way now. They are 3 wide for that last position in the pack. Still no battle for the lead yet. Larson still has led every lap in this race so far. The first 15 of 40. A bit of a boring race so far, but not as boring as it could be. Most of the field is single file right now, with a couple stray battles here and there. You can see Klingerman on the inside back there. De Benedetto is on the bumper of Larson. Can he maybe try to look inside going in turn 3? He's riding that bumper of the 42, but he didn't try to move him out of the way. He's still sitting on the bumper. If he tries to make a move in turn 1, that's a big mistake unless he boots him to do it. Trying to make the move in turn 1 will only cost you time. Yeah, De Benedetto just isn't close enough to make an attempt at a pass. Ooh, Tifft and Elliott get together. Elliott goes up the racetrack. This is towards the back positions of the field. Suarez goes to the inside of Blaney. 3 wide back there. Meanwhile, for the race lead, Bowyer looked on De Benedetto, but didn't try to pull anything. This could be a race of attrition, as Larson seems to be quite dominant. These guys are really trying to be patient, although Bowyer looks like he's a little impatient. He was riding the bumper De Benedetto. Into 3. Through 3 and 4, Bowyer still stuck behind that 95, and the 95 still stuck behind the 42. Bowyer is riding De Benedetto's bumper coming off of the corner. He is pushing him down the back straightaway, and he moves him up the groove. De Benedetto trying to chop back down in front of him. A bit of contact. Bowyer still on the bumper. To the inside goes the 14 for the 2nd position. That cost him so much time, because De Benedetto managed to still hold on to that race car. Bowyer is trying to fight on the inside. Can De Benedetto still challenge on the outside? His help now, Jeffrey, is gone as Bowman tries to move to his inside. De Benedetto will lose the 2nd position. Maybe even the third position. Can he get down in front of the 88? He will, and now it is a big freight train behind Kyle Larson. So if these guys catch leader Larson, then they will most likely be able to freight train him, because all these guys are definitely going to be faster. Looking at the lap times, Larson is about a 10th slower per lap. Here they come down the back straightaway. None of these guys have tried to make a move or anything. They are just working together to try and catch back up to Kyle Larson, the race leader. They're not too much faster, but they are. It is making a difference. Larson already has locked up the most laps led this race, so he will get 5 bonus points, I believe it is, for that. Ooh, Dibby got hit by Bowman. Are these guys pitting? Oh, there's a crash. Kurt Busch went around, and Ryan Blaney got involved as well. Caution is out, and Buescher goes around into the pack, collects Ty Dillon. Another crash after the caution flag. Chris Buescher involved. Whoa, these guys trying to slip by and avoid. Suarez scrapes Ty Dillon. First caution of the day comes out as they wreck at the front of the field, and that will give Kyle Larson. Larson will hold on to the race lead. Are these guys going to pit? It looks like they will. Will we have anyone staying out under this caution flag? Suarez. Ooh! Tifft, you can tell, is not happy with that 43 about earlier. Just slammed into the back of him under that caution flag. And it looks like everyone will be coming down pit road, so who will win the race off? And Larson, I think, won the race off, but will they give it to him because Bowyer pulled way out in front? Larson has not been on winning form in quite a few seasons. Last time he was, there was a different driver signed up for that 42, and that was Yorkie, who now drives, I believe, Ryan Preece's car. Yes, he does. So will they give the lead? They did give the lead to the 42 of Larson. He did win that race off pit road, so let's have a look at what caused this caution. So what initially caused this caution is Chase Elliott goes to try and move Ryan Blaney. Blaney puts him back down the track, and Elliott keeps his foot in it, dumps to 12. 12 up the racetrack, into the 1. Both of them wreck, and Blaney crashes out of this event after that one. And then there's a separate incident after this, after they wrecked up front, or in turn 4. Let's see what happened here. Hamlin comes up to the 37, and he just dumps him down the front stretch. What on earth was that? And Ty Dillon, an innocent victim, involved in that one. Tanner Berryhill with a good avoidance. Suarez gets a little piece of it, but not much. But Hamlin just dumped the 37 coming down the front straightaway. There is no excuse for that 11 car. Just completely spun the 11 around. Or not the 11, but the 37, that is. And he is out of this race. Kurt Busch is actually also out of the race after that incident. And we'll be going green this time, so no need for another transition. So your top 5 after pit stops, Kyle Larson will be first, Clint Bowyer still in second, third will be Jeffrey Earnhardt, fourth will be Matt DiBenedetto, and fifth, Alex Bowman. Cars out after those 2 separate crashes, Chris Buescher, Ty Dillon, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Blaney. Other cars involved include Daniel Suarez and Denny Hamlin, who are both still in the race. Larson has led every lap so far in this race. The question is if the 14 can pass him before this thing is up. That 42 hasn't been on winning form in a while. I don't think he's won since around season 6 or 5. One of those 2 seasons is the last time that 42 won a race. That car is, well, probably not, but he hasn't been on championship form since then. Pace car takes a hard left, entering the restart zone. Green flag back out. Good restart for the 14. Can he get to the inside? No, Jeffrey gets to his inside instead. The 33 got a really good restart on Clint Bowyer. To the inside he goes. No incidents or spins on that restart. We are still good. Larson beginning to pull away, coming to 10 to go this time by. Can he win it? Jeffrey into second. Clint Bowyer dropping like a rock, stuck on the outside. Multiple cars dropping positions that were up towards the front of the field. De Benedetto is one of them as well. Down through 3 and 4. Big stack up on the inside line. All of these guys are right with each other. Harvick almost looked like he was going to move the 19, but he didn't do it. Jeffrey is catching that 42. The question is if he can pass him. A lot of side-by-side action in the deep section of the field. Can any of these guys pass the 42? A lot of these guys are probably out of this race at this point since they are stuck in this pack. Clint Bowyer, who was looking pretty fast at the end of this race, got stuck up on the outside and is losing positions. Ooh, you could see Eric Jones loose there in the midfield. Jeffrey is still trying to catch that 42. He's only going to have 7 more laps to get that 42 and make the pass stick. Down the front stretch. A lot of these guys running it pretty hard. A big pack is forming behind, but they probably aren't going to have enough time to catch the leaders unless these two get side by side. Jeffrey seems to be a little slower in 1 and 2. That's not what he's going to want. But he is ever so slightly faster currently behind the 42. But can he pass him is the true test. Bowman is a lot faster than both of these guys, as is rookie Kyle Busch. 5th place Truex is there as well if he can try to make a move. And the caution is out. Parker Kligerman and Kevin Harvick with heavy damage. I don't think the race is going to be over. But yellow flag. 5 to go. Is the race over? I don't know. It might be a 1-lap shootout to decide this race. Let's get a quick look at what happened to cause that yellow. Or will these guys pit? Or I'm going to have a look if they pit first. If these guys pit, it'll be quite the mistake. It looks like they are going to stay out except for the guys that are damaged. Parker Kligerman pulls into his stall. And let's get a look at what brought out that caution. So this incident is pretty clear as well. You can see Suarez drives it in on the corner of Kligerman and dumps him into the outside retaining wall. Suarez also goes around. Jimmy Johnson got really close to getting involved in that. Kevin Harvick, an innocent bystander. Just nowhere to go for Harvick. And that will bring out the second caution of the day. Now the question is, will the race be over? We are about to find out. Only got a couple more laps. And if we do go green again, we will be back. We are back here at Dover, and there will be a green flag. It will be 1 lap to decide Dover. I don't think this isn't the first time that there has been a 1-lap shootout to decide the race, to decide a Dover race. Can Kyle Larson get himself back to victory lane? I think he had a winless season in Season 7. I will check that real quick. Nah, not right now, but I will check later. So, Larson trying to hang on and get his victory. Takani, Jeffrey Earnhardt in second. He was away for a couple seasons and returns to drive the 33, was the ex-driver, the 24. And like I also said, Alex Bowman has been on a bit of a down note, although I'm pretty sure he won the final race of Season 7 and is trying to recover from this drought. Pace car takes that hard left. We are green again. Here at Dover, 1 lap to decide this race, and it looks like it might already be over as Alex Bowman goes to the inside of Jeffrey Earnhardt. This race looks like it's ended before it even really actually has. Bowman trying to get second from Earnhardt. It is all Kyle Larson trying to lead every lap. Off turn number 4, he will do it. Leading every lap will be Kyle Larson to win at Dover. Second place will be Alex Bowman, third will be Kyle Busch, and fourth, Jeffrey Earnhardt, and fifth will be Eric Almirola. And that is a tough break for a lot of these guys. Clint Bowyer was really fast, and he rounds out, he didn't even score a top 10 this race. A lot of guys who fell out right at the end. Earnhardt had a chance to win, but just fell out right at the end, got passed by Busch and Bowman. So we will look at your post-race season standings after that race. Next race will be Auto Club. So looking at your standings, Joey Logano will still be the points leader over now second place De Benedetto. Third is Clint Bowyer, behind by only 1 point, and also tied with Kyle Busch for that third spot. A very close battle for second, and then Joey Logano in his rookie season, who won the Daytona 500, is absolutely driving away in the standings right now. But judging by what happened in Season 7, early dominance is a bad sign for the end of your season. See how that goes. And your bottom 3 in the standings right now, Kyle Larson, even after he won that race, even after he won the race, he still is last in points by 2 points behind Denny Hamlin, and third place is Chase Elliott, or third to last and second to last. So, not a lot of those guys that finished up towards the front that race are doing quite poorly in the standings. Only one, I believe, let's see. Yes, only one of the people that finished in the top 5 that race are in the top 5 in the point standings. That race was quite the mix-up. So we'll see you next race for what will probably be the most chaotic race of the season at Auto Club. Be a lot of action there, and we will see you for that one. Have a good one.